And a brand and a name is so fundamentally important to what you become. Why would I have a name that pushes so many people away when I'm trying to have a name that welcomes people in?
The One More Time Music Podcast. Genuine conversations with genuine people about music. Hosted by Henry with a 3 and Playback Ben.
Went from Beamer Coops to Pencils. Tell me what this is, so pop that one more time. Pop that one more time. Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode of the One More Time Podcast.
One more time.
It's Thursday.
You know what that means.
Our favorite day of the week.
You know what Thursday means.
Yo, Thursdays didn't even used to be really at all a favorite day of mine. And now I genuinely look forward to Thursdays.
Love Thursdays.
I love them. All because of you guys. I'm your host, Playback Ben, here with my co-host.
Henry with the 3, also known as the Trap Jack Black.
The Trap Jack Black. That's so true, though.
Right?
Henry, who do we have sitting here in the hot seat today on the podcast, my friend?
Welcoming in on the 22nd.
22nd. 22 is my favorite number, in case you guys were wondering.
Welcoming in on the 22nd episode of the One More Time Podcast, head of Lenox Mall Security, Paul Blart.
Yes.
He already threw a few people out of the studio this afternoon. Thank you for your services, my friend.
Yeah, I'm the Paul Blart of hip-hop.
Trap Jack Black and the hip-hop Paul Blart.
Yeah, hip-hop
Let's do
Paul
a
Blart.
tape.
Yeah.
Let's do a tape.
I'm in really weird company right now on this episode.
It's going to be interesting.
In all seriousness, we have legendary recording artist, well, soon to be legendary because it's somewhat of a new brand. We have Mr. London Dre.
Hoorah.
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 Hoorah. That's a little Marine Corps sound for y'all out there.
That's right.
Yep.
That means we like it.
Okay.
Hoorah can mean a million different things. It's kind of like fuck.
It's got all the meanings.
Yeah. It's got a bunch of meanings. Yeah.
We appreciate you coming on the podcast. Obviously, you know, we've run in similar circles. A few artists that Henry's worked with, you've also worked with. So definitely looking forward to the conversation today, my friend. So we're going to get right into it if that's all good.
Let's get it.
So, you know, I didn't want to beat around the bush because anyone that knows you in a past life does not know you as London Dre.
That is definitely correct.
So
basically, no one knows me as London Dre.
Very few people will know. Like at least like 1,000 people, I think, at this point.
Yeah,
right?
maybe 1,500.
Yep.
We've been able to bring over a nucleus of core Doc Todd fans, but for the most part, no one knows.
Yep. So you rebranded. You kind of birthed a new, project under the name London Dre, whereas before you were operating under the artist name Doc Todd.
Yeah.
Tell us. I just didn't want to leave that till the end, right? So typically we
get that out of the way.
Typically we kind of go from like origin story to where you're at now.
Yeah.
We'll rewind in a second, but why did you do that? Just I wanted to kind of set the stage of like what inspired the rebrand and the new artist name.
There's definitely one reason above all others that was, I would say, the catalyst for the change, and that's race. My fan base which has been a hyper conservative fan base, male, white, conservative, former military, EMT, firefighter, military fan base that I built from being, in the military rap. I would say, I guess it's more like a subgenre now, where there's a lot of artists that operate kind of in that military and veteran rap space. And I've been out of the military now for almost 12 years.
Okay.
I fought in Afghanistan in 2009. A lot of my past that's there is hard to deal with, but also some things that is some of my proudest moments. But I noticed that when I tried to step out of that box, especially when I tried to step out of that box in a place that's probably most important to my heart, maybe even more so than impacting veteran suicide and supporting military, is having a positive impact on race relations. And when I started to step out of the box to make statements about race and equality and about unity and harmony, the pushback that I got was so off-putting that I had to bounce.
You were questioning your fan base and what they were.
Yeah, I got to where I hated my fan base.
Wow.
Like, like the people.
Those are strong words.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, I didn't like my fan base at all. I didn't like the way they reacted to things that I was doing that I thought were, full of the right intentions and full of, good character and good heart. And I didn't like stepping out and sticking up for other people and them saying like, well, you're supposed to live in this box and only stick up for us and only talk about our issues. And, this BLM is a hyper democratic movement funded by white people that I'm like, yo, Black Lives Matter. Like,
Period.
Like what? Like just things like that. And I think it's hard for me to really articulate it the way that I want to. But if I had to boil it down to one more thing on one more time, it'd be race.
Damn.
It would be race, and it's about being able to speak for all people, not just to speak for one particular sect of people. You know? And one particular story. Like we all have layers, like Shrek would say. We're onions.
Onions.
I'm not just a combat veteran. I'm not just a 36-year-old white guy. I'm not just a Southerner. I'm not just, a rap artist. I'm not just a father or husband. I'm a lot of all those things mixed together. And
you're human at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And there's things that are more important than just standing in this box and being this thing that you want me to be. And at the end of the day, that was why.
Damn, that's very interesting. So, I mentioned we'd rewind a little bit. So you mentioned you're a Southerner. You're born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee.
Shout out Memphis.
Live music runs in your family, right?
Pooh, I'm really shiesty.
Shout out Pooh.
Shout out Pooh Shiesty. Yeah. Yes. So my brother is a professional musician in Nashville. We obviously grew up, born and raised in Memphis. My brother's a professional percussionist and producer.
Yeah, but your dad was a promoter.
Yes, concert promoter, Ozzy Osbourne, Twisted Sister.
I was like,
this guy pulls some crazy shit out. He does his homework.
Shows.
He's the Nardwuar of podcasters.
Yes, he is.
Your dad, he used to bring metal bands to drive-in theaters.
Yeah, drive-in jams. Mike Todd
sounds
presents.
epic.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Did you get to go to some of those shows?
No, my dad.
He didn't let you?
He quit doing. He quit selling coke and doing concerts when I was about 3.
Okay.
Shout out Mike Todd, one of the best old school concert promoting coke dealers of all time.
Shout out Mike
my
Todd.
father. Yeah.
Darn him for stopping so young.
Yeah.
He didn't reach his prime.
He quit when I was 3 or 4.
Okay, well,
he got into family life, I guess.
there we go. Good for him. Good for him. But so live music, obviously he was a big promoter. So what were some of your favorite shows, kind of that you can remember growing up?
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses.
What was special about that one?
Just the energy and like the titties.
Shout out titties.
Yeah, like the energy and the titties were like beyond compare at a Guns N' Roses show.
But yeah, so you weren't always a hip hop artist. You mentioned your dad put on metal shows and kind of hardcore rock shows. You also had a stint in that space.
Yes.
As a member of a band. What was the band name?
You already know it. This dude is for real Nardwuar on this
Telling
shit.
you.
Bro, he knows everything. Brutal Honesty. Shout out Brutal Honesty.
Brutal Honesty. What role did you play in the band?
I would say I was like a half-ass Mike Shinoda. You know Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park?
Yeah.
So like rhythm guitar and like rapping backing vocals.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was like the trash underground Mike Shinoda.
Yo, we love self-aware.
Shout out Fort Myers.
We love self-aware artists. So
Yeah.
at least you knew what that time in your life was.
Yeah. 4 chords and like 4 bars.
That's all you need.
Yeah, that's all you need, bro.
That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of curious. Did you know that you wanted to take music seriously though at that time, or was that completely just for fun?
No, I mean, I've always had, how do you put this? Like, I've always had that terrible infatuation with music where it fucks with your life.
Yeah.
Like, I love it just enough for it to fuck with my life. Like,
Yeah.
at every single stage, like young, old, in between. Like, we took ourselves more seriously than we probably should have. I loved playing guitar and writing riffs, and I loved rapping, and I don't think I realized how much I loved rapping until later in life, and like a lot of other stories in between Brutal Honesty and today that really I would say emboldened my passion for hip hop. But the number one thing I would say, if I were to boil it down to a sentence, all that time from the transition of hip hop or from metal and rock to hip hop, is that I got sick of telling other people's story. Like being associated with another lead singer or another vocalist or another writer's take on things that wasn't necessarily my own, that wasn't the way that I felt about a situation, or wasn't the way that I would have wrote about said thing or said emotion.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to put my name on other people's words anymore. And I think that's what ultimately led me to hip hop and rap.
That made me really think about how rock music, pop music, you have like an 8-bar chorus, and then you have maybe an 8-12 bar, verse. It's kind of spaced out. You only have so much time to like tell a story.
Right.
And then hip hop, you have a hook, but then you have like, 16 bar verse, and you're like rapping, faster than a singer is probably singing. You have a lot more time to tell a story.
A lot more fucking words.
In hip hop.
A lot more
than
words.
any other genre. You're really like talking about something more than any other genre. I never really thought about that before.
I think it's the greatest artistic medium ever.
Yeah.
And
poetry meets music.
Yeah, it's poetry on music. It's like syncopated poetry with cadence and flow, and like said with emotion and performed. Like I can't think of a better medium to express yourself than hip hop. Like, but I'm so biased. But
you ask a freaking rock musician and they're like, "You fucking crazy assholes!" Like, have you heard guitar solos for 5 minutes tell the most beautiful story there is? So you ended up spending some time in the restaurant industry. I think that was kind of a bad, but I think that was kind of a bad space for you, right? Yeah. You kind of got to a point where mentally and physically even you're not who you wanted to be at that point, right?
Yeah, so my background professionally outside of music is definitely hospitality, sales, customer service.
Yeah.
And I've had some highlights professionally. Like I've worked in wealth management. I've made some real bread, like in the private sector, doing normal shit.
Yeah.
But I cut my teeth in the restaurant business. I started washing dishes when I was 14 or 15 in an Irish pub, and then worked my way up into, working high-end fine dining and, being a head waiter at a place where, it's going to take you $500 to get a 2-top out the door, and
nice.
With wine and food and blah, blah, and opening up those. And then at some point during that progression, I was not really into music at the time. I decided that, hey, I've got to address my life, because if I'm going to be 40 waiting tables, because the kind of money you make in high-end fine dining.
I was busting tables at fine dining, and I was making buku money. I was like, shit, you could just keep doing this forever.
And I was making, $180,000 a year waiting tables at 23 years old.
Yeah.
So
but probably spending all of it at the bar and up your nose and all sorts of other fun activities that come with the restaurant industry.
For sure. So I joined the Navy.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. No, yeah. So you end up, getting in the military. Yeah. Had you ever thought about getting in the military before that? Or was it really like I got to get my shit together and this is just one way to do that? Or like,
it was mostly that.
Yeah.
But I had thought about it before, because my grandfather was a naval officer career.
Okay, cool.
So there was always that respect in my household for the pedigree of someone who spent their career in the military, who served, especially an officer, and he was an attorney and a naval officer, and we obviously had a tremendous amount of respect for him as a person and as a grandfather and as a professional.
Yeah.
And so, there was definitely some knowledge of it growing up. And then the fact that I was a total shit show, but I was making crazy money at 23. And it's like, I knew that if I didn't make some sort of significant change, that I'd be 38, 39, 40, like, where I'm getting into now, sadly, but be doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't trade it for anything, because now I can look back on those 10, 12, 13 years and say, wow, I've done a lot of different shit and a lot of cool shit, because I decided to walk away from that.
Yep. So your start in hip hop came in boot camp, right? Like you started rapping in boot camp?
I would say I started rap.
Started rapping in brutal honesty.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Well, in
like
high
a
school,
Mike Shinoda.
Yeah, exactly. In a Mike Shinoda
or Nick
kinda.
Cannon. Like,
oh God!
Shout out Nick Cannon.
Shout out Nick Cannon. In a comical way, like I was always.
Can't believe we just shouted out Nick Cannon.
We
but
totally
anyways.
did. Because that is the foundation of my rap career. I would say it's not because I was inspired by it, but I was a joke rapper. It was like a joke. It was funny.
Really?
Yeah, like I would just be in the halls at high school just making up shit about dropping your textbooks and, some, teacher that was hot or whatever. Just making jokes, you know what I mean? Like just funny. And people would always be like, damn, he can come up with funny shit off the top of his head. And then that turned into brutal honesty, which later turned into, a serious admiration and I would say conquest of the craft, like to start it in the military, because I felt like at the time there wasn't a voice that was a military MC or a military rapper.
Yeah.
There wasn't someone that was talking about the trials and tribulations of getting ready to go on deployment. There wasn't someone who was talking about war. There wasn't someone who was talking about our story and like the things that we go through when, really you're talking about, the poor kids of America pulling triggers for what the politicians say.
Yeah.
And I just didn't think they had a voice. And that's where I got my start in hip hop.
Until I met you, I didn't even think of that as a subgenre at all. But like seeing what you had, what you did, within that space, and then you mentioning that it is like a very like thriving subgenre, right? Of like a very dedicated fan base, and there's also lots of artists that are competing in that space, or whatever. I thought that was like super interesting. I'd never heard of it.
Military rap.
Because
It's a thing. It's totally a thing.
100%.
I mean, like you were slanging mixtapes, like on bass or whatnot, right? Like, I mean, that's like there was an actual little scene, and like you were trying to make ends meet and like build a buzz, like within your, I guess,
Did you have any type of recording capabilities?
Yeah, how did
we
you
went
do that?
to Wilmington, North Carolina. So shout out Wilmington, North Carolina. Shout out Cape Fear Studios.
Oh, wow.
We were on a base in Jacksonville, North Carolina. So it was Marine Corps base, one of the largest, if not the largest Marine Corps bases in the country. And we recorded off base in Wilmington, North Carolina, which was like about an hour drive. I cut an album called United. It was a group called Last Round, and we sold 2,736 copies.
That's crazy.
Of our album. And I wish
Did you not learn your lesson on the group dynamic though?
Yes.
From Brutal Honesty?
No, yes and no.
Yeah, because like you literally went from that to starting a rap group.
But
why the fuck did you do that?
But my statements,
Like literally,
my statements though were still mine though.
Okay.
There just happened
It was
to be
more about the
other
message.
statements. Yeah, there was.
Oh
other
yeah,
points
okay.
of
Because I
view,
guess you're
but-
still cool with like features and stuff in
Yeah.
hip hop. Okay, but it was like just putting your words in someone else, or like them putting their words in your mouth, or like whatever. Like
Well,
that
it's
sort
just
of
like
thing?
my words are my words and their words are their words, and plus like we can mix money together. So it's like okay, this could
so
this could
it
cost
was
me
the political and like
money.
economical side
Yeah,
of it, the
like-
business side.
this could cost me $5,000 to do all by myself.
Yeah.
all by my lonesome, or I could grab two other like really popular guys in the unit. And we could chop it up three ways.
It's just funny because he mentioned like not liking the group dynamic of the band, and then he's like, "So I started this rap group right after that."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Because he's
first thing I did.
more in control.
If
It's his group,
But no,
it's
I get
different.
what he's saying.
No, it makes
though.
sense.
But
though.
I get
It makes
what
sense
you're saying. But yeah, I hated the band, so I started a rap group.
Yeah.
And then I hated the rap group and I went solo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you eventually, of course, go solo, and you adopt the name Doc Todd. Mm-hmm. Doc coming from.
It was an earned nickname, which
Yep.
was. This is the one thing I miss about it, is because I earned that name on the field of battle.
Yeah.
I earned my rap name pulling triggers and plugging holes in Afghanistan. Everybody called me Doc.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's tough to.
It's tough. It
to
was.
let go.
It was fucking tough.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
it's still fucking tough. But I know I did the right thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I earned that nickname. So everybody called me Doc. Any corpsman that serves with Marines on the front lines, in battle and, doing emergency medicine and saving lives, they're called Doc. We earned that. We earned that title. We earned that moniker, if you will.
Yeah.
And
And then Todd being your last name.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
So
that's
it was
super
simple.
interesting.
Yeah, it was
Dr. Todd.
Dr.
Yep.
Todd. Yeah.
So your first release as Doc Todd was Combat Medicine, or was that?
It was. And,
okay.
And still to this day, my most successful song ever was the very first one I released as Doc Todd.
Yeah. Which song was that?
Not Alone.
Shout out, Not Alone.
Not Alone.
Yeah.
Tell us what inspired that record in particular.
It was an anti-suicide song. And we tracked all of Combat Medicine in Nashville. My brother executive produced it along with Mook Beats. Shout out Mook Beats.
Shout
That's
out.
so cool to have worked with your brother, though.
Yeah, it was
That's really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
My sister's a dentist, so it's like there's no chance we'll ever work together in music.
Plaque.
You never know.
Yo, that shit is whack.
Yeah, y'all can get a plaque though.
Yeah.
That's funny. No,
Plaques.
Plaques.
Got a plaque from my plaque because that shit is whack. Dentist Raps coming out 2022.
Boom. Boom, boom. Tartar Control EP.
Tartar Control EP.
Yeah, this is terrible.
It's getting so bad in here. No, so yeah, Mook and my brother, and this was my return to music. So there was a long break.
What after the group, but before this?
Well, after the military, after United. And then like coming out and going to school and being like a normal
just
human being.
figuring shit out, and then music was kind of like, okay, I can't handle.
It was like
making music.
It's a pipe dream. Like I mean, being a rap artist, it still is a pipe dream for everyone who's trying to rap out there. Like there's a million other people.
Yeah,
a lot of them are good.
Good luck.
Good luck to you. Like it's a fucking. I still think I'm crazy.
A rat race.
Yeah, it's fucked up. I mean, it is. It may be the single hardest thing to do in the world.
Wow.
Not to mention Suave again, but he literally goes by the crazy man, and he goes, because you literally got to be a little crazy to want to do this. Yeah. So I think
it might be the single hardest endeavor to conquer in the world.
Yeah.
So for that, I have an unbelievable amount of respect for anyone who's willing to try. But when I say willing to try, I mean really try. Like, you know if you're really trying or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you didn't just put out some bullshit on SoundCloud and
So
now you're
cross your fingers for followers and fans because that's not how it works.
So I took a hiatus and did what the world told me to do, which was, come out of the military and get a college education and, make some money, go to work, start a family. I did all those things. And then there was this emptiness, that existed in me because of the fact that I wasn't doing what I love, which is music. It's something that's always been there, something that's always been in my heart, and something that I've always wanted to do and wanted to do at a high level and chose to walk away from at multiple points in my life for whatever reason. And I just couldn't square with it anymore. And
it's like an addiction, man.
Yeah. And I said, you know what? I got to go do something. And if I was going to do something, let's like make it have a niche or a lane or a purpose. So like I went and made combat medicine, which was focused on impacting veteran suicide and, military mental health and addiction. And
I feel like a bigger deal than people realize.
Huge deal.
And you kind of shone a light on that. Shone? Is that a word?
Yeah.
Shined?
Shone.
Shined. Tuned.
A light was cast.
Yeah.
We make up words on the podcast all the time. And so it's like,
so
I don't even second guess whatever the fuck you're saying because I'm like, who cares if it's a real word?
It doesn't matter as long as
we're picking up what you're putting down, my friend. Okay.
So we made Not Alone, and Not Alone was just an anti-suicide song. We got covered on CNN. We got covered on NPR.
Yeah, talk to us about the press. There was some serious press around it for an independent artist to have been featured on some of these, media outlets. So, so you mentioned NPR,
ABC, CNN. Everyone. Like basically everyone but Fox, which that's kind of was surprising to me because I'm like, it was pro-military.
Right, that's your fan base.
Hyper conservative white people.
How the fuck does Fox not cover this?
Fuck you, Fox News, shithead.
Fox,
everyone covered it.
We would not love
to have you on the podcast.
Stay away, Fox.
Yeah, I was shocked that Fox didn't cover it. Everybody covered it but Fox.
Was there a PR strategy that you were implementing?
Yeah, how did that for people that want to, are interested in getting buzz on their releases.
Because press is like mythical creature, right?
Yeah,
people don't know how to get it.
Press.
Yeah.
How'd you do it?
Yeah, like how did you actually?
Anyone who knows me, and Mr. H3 knows me, and he knows that I will tell you how to do it. I will do that. And I expect other people to
give us the sauce.
Yeah. I'll give you the sauce, and I expect other people to give me the sauce. Just because I give you the sauce doesn't mean that you can pull it off, though.
Mm-hmm. There's plenty of like how-to books if people can't read them. So
you got to execute.
Yeah,
execution.
I'm married to a publicist. Shout out my wife. Abby.
Shout out Mrs. Dre.
Mrs. Dre. First and foremost, it has to be newsworthy.
Sure.
So the story was newsworthy.
Yeah.
So two things must exist for you to get press. You must have newsworthy material or a newsworthy release, and you must properly pitch it. So we had newsworthy material and a newsworthy release, and it was properly pitched. It was pitched to the right outlets. We did they do something. My wife did it, but they release it on a press wire where it can get picked up. So she released it on a press wire, and then she also reached out to, NPR was the domino that fell. So
I would imagine exactly like if someone sees from ABC that like, shit, did you see that story that NPR had? And like,
Now
just
they
have to
want a
get
piece
one.
of it.
Yeah.
So once one domino falls, then they all fall.
Damn, okay.
Or they all start to fall because they're all copying off each other for a unique story. So we pitched. So that comes down to where you pitch it and why you pitch it. But you got to be newsworthy first. And a song by a combat veteran, a legitimate combat veteran who fought in some heavy shit, talking about anti-suicide and like reclaiming your life is a newsworthy story. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
So
Big
where
time.
where do we pitch that and why do we pitch it? Okay,
Yeah.
so we pitch it to NPR because NPR covered my unit in Afghanistan. So my wife pitched them and said, hey, did you ever wonder what happened to those guys that you covered in 2009? Well, here's one of them who did this.
Oh, wow.
So she pitched, that's a good pitch. So now you have a newsworthy story with a good pitch that gets someone's attention. NPR picked it up and then everybody picked it up.
Let's real quick on the One More Time podcast, when we feel like an artist has dropped a serious gem,
One more time.
we ask
One
that they
more
just
time.
sum that
One
just
more
one more
time.
time.
One more time.
If
One
an
more
artist wants to get some press, because that was a gem, that was a big gem. Let's just nail that one home real quick. Give them that one more time, just the summary, if they want to get press.
The release must be newsworthy. So what you're doing needs to matter for some reason.
Yes.
It has to be newsworthy. Like, you know, like throwing champagne on a bitch's ass, it's not newsworthy. So
Damn it, I wish it was.
I wish it
If
was
only
too. If
everyone
only.
would be famous.
Yeah.
I'd love that to be my headline on the Times.
It has to be newsworthy, and then it has to be properly pitched. If you have something that's newsworthy and you pitch it properly, you will get press, period.
Boom.
Do you recommend people making songs that are specifically newsworthy if they want press?
Yes and no. I'll say that traditional press doesn't move the hip hop needle, which is what
True. Agreed.
Which is what caused
Big facts.
a lot of another gem, which is what caused a lot of stress
One more time.
and a lot of stress in my career. Is that, I mean, you got to think, like, you just drop a debut album, you get covered by every major news outlet in the country, and then nothing, then
Yeah.
crickets.
Damn.
It hurt. Like I thought we were gonna go,
And
bro.
but that's even what
Wild.
and I mean you kind of hit the nail on the head, because people also expect that hip hop specific press is going to move their needle. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you can get covered by the Complexes, the hip hop DXs, the Pigeons and Planes, the whoever, and you still might not break because of one article about you, just because it's in the right place. So you're mentioning that these were almost somewhat of the wrong places potentially for hip hop fans, at least, right?
Yeah, the people that saw it were like, "Wow, this is a great story."
They
And
did not
now
go
I'm-
listen.
Now I'm moving on with my life.
Yeah, no, for
Like-
sure. No, it's good. It's good
Like,
feedback, man.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
crazy.
No, seriously.
That's crazy.
So
They were
really-
then watching Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune right
Yeah.
after that.
Right, like they're
Yeah.
not. They don't get first.
My
of
parents.
all,
I feel like you could have.
That's very inspiring.
Yeah.
Pat Sajak is coming on.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you
that's
kind of
exactly what happened.
so you kind of hinted at this earlier, but recap kind of today. What's your relationship like with the veteran community?
Strained. I think it's strained for multiple reasons. One, I'm not going to do what they expect me to do, and then two, it's a very cliquish environment, just like hip hop as well. Like everyone's fighting for attention, everyone's fighting for money, everyone's fighting for eyes, and the last thing that they want to do is shout somebody else out, which is the part where I don't fit in with anyone, because like I do fundamentally believe that no one's shine takes away from mine, and I do fundamentally believe in collaboration. Like
There's plenty of shine.
there's plenty of shine.
Abundance of shine.
There's enough shine for everyone.
Yeah, they don't like me because I'm different. They probably think I'm a lot different politically, where maybe I'm very much a moderate. I'll just go ahead and put it out there. Like, I wanted to do a podcast called The Radical Moderate because I'm like in between all you crazy fuckers. Like, that's the way, like, I genuinely believe, like, y'all are all fucking nuts, and I'm here on this island of like sanity. They never liked me. They never, the veteran community never fully embraced me, because I will say this, about the artistry that was Doc Todd, that was those 3 albums that I put out and the EPs that I put out, is that we found a tasteful, genuine, authentic way to make military-centric music, to make it in a non-corny way where we weren't just attacking the lowest common denominator. Like where I wasn't like running out with a mohawk and an American flag like wrapped around my ass on a lawnmower. Like we didn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like we didn't.
That sounds viral. So viral,
yeah,
man.
No, it is. That, it is. It's
you should totally do that, even in London Dre's brand. Like, I would definitely follow you on TikTok for that.
Yeah.
I mean,
it works. Like shooting fucking,
fireworks out of your ass.
Roman candles at each other, like American flag. Yeah. We didn't do that. We tried to bring a tasteful approach to like some of the real issues that face the military and veteran community, that face people that are struggling with mental health and struggling with addiction and struggling with suicidal ideations. We try to bring a real approach to that, a real artistic approach, a thoughtful approach, an intelligent approach. And it turns out that shooting fireworks out of your ass works a lot better.
You've obviously transitioned away from Doc Todd. You've kind of let it, have served its purpose. Now you've, become London Dre. But your last project, you had a pretty great accomplishment as Doc Todd. I mean, something you worked really hard for.
Tell us about Ciotos.
Yeah.
Ciotos.
Tell us what you accomplished with that and, what it meant to you.
The last project that I did as Doc Todd charted on the top 40 U.S. hip-hop albums chart. It peaked at number 7.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah,
really
fucking
kidding
cool.
me?
Doc Todd and Quentin Ciotos, which is an acronym.
Shout out
Quentin
Q.
Shout out
Q. We already knew we would shout you out in this episode. We talked about it before. We finally got there.
Yeah.
Did it.
So
you bastard, Q. You made it into the episode. So yeah, what did it mean to you and how did you do it?
I did it on pre-sales. Again, sharing the sauce. That doesn't change the work that you have to do.
He already knew to like look at the camera when you make
hit him right there.
That's genius.
Hit him right there. So when you want to have something hit really hard, you hit him right there in the middle camera on the low.
If you want I'm talking to you.
This is a clip.
Listening, you want to chart your project. You want it to be top 40 U.S. hip-hop albums. Who doesn't? You want that. You need that. It fucking doesn't help you that much. But you still should do that. So how do you do that?
Social proof.
Do you think that you can compete with Drake on streams? No. Young Thug? No. Uzi Vert? No.
Yeezy?
Tay K from jail? No.
Not even from jail. You can't compete with an artist that's locked up.
No, none. You cannot outstream any of those fuckers. But you know what you can do? Pre-sales.
Pre-sales.
That's something you can control. And I tell you that if you can manifest above 500 pre-sales, you can chart. And if you can manifest over 1,500 pre-sales, you can chart on Billboard. But do it on a single, not on an album, because there is no pre-charting for sales on albums. That takes in radio data and streaming data, and you can't compete there. You can only compete on pre-sales. So text your friends, text your wife, text your cousins, text every motherfucker that you've ever known and let them know that they're going to be spending $3.99 to $6.99 on your fucking EP. And if they do what you've asked them to do, you have a small chance to chart in the top 40 on the U.S. hip hop albums chart. So go berate everyone with spam, tell them to buy your trash project for $3.99 to $6.99. And you can chart too. And it's not going to move the needle much, but you'll be able to say that you charted forever.
Boom. Episode over. No, I'm just kidding. So
that's like, I'm not even going to one more time that, even though it's so one more timeable. Like that was just a moment.
We can't have him repeat that.
That just needs to live. Yeah.
They only get to hear the sauce once, Henry.
Rewind the episode, motherfuckers.
We did that. We sold like 600 or 700 pre-sales, and we hit number 7. We peaked at number 7.
And you're competing.
So cool.
They were competing with DMX, who had just passed.
Yeah,
and they probably could have got higher. There were at least 2 or 3, I think, DMX projects above y'all, right?
Yeah, my man Q would have sold a few. We would have.
Shout out Q.
Shout out Q. Yeah, I love him.
So moving on to London Dre, Henry actually was asking this before we were on camera, so I want to definitely repeat the question: is what's different about London Dre? Is it just the name?
Yeah.
Or is it the music and the overall story? Like, tell us, this is your chance to kind of pitch what it is that you're trying to do differently.
Yes.
With London Dre, because that was something you were asking before, and I think it's very worthy.
No, it is. And Henry, it's hard for me. Like, people need to understand, like, this is difficult for me. Like, it was a tough decision. It's something I toiled with for over a year. And I tried to do it once before. And it was just like, well, this doesn't make business sense, because now I can't say, oh, I'm a charting artist, or, oh, I was on CNN, or, oh, I was on ABC, or, oh, I did this or did that. Like, all that's out the window. And first you have to square yourself with the fact that everything you've accomplished as an artist is no longer relevant to some degree, as it pertains to a name. But, me and Doc Todd was kind of just ascending to the point in the music game to where I was getting around folks like y'all. I was always big in the press game and big on the fan base game, but I wasn't running with real hitters in the music game until the end. And you guys came in towards the end where all this shit was already deep in my thought process. So Ciotos is a departure from Doc Todd in a lot of ways musically, and it was starting to happen. And then the name of it, See You on the Other Side, was, in a sense, I'm telling people, like, something's going to change, and I'm going to see you on the other side of this change.
I didn't even think about that. It's almost like see you on the other side when I'm not Doc Todd anymore. Wow.
Like, I knew these things were happening longer than everyone else did. Yeah. But with that being said, it's a departure musically, but I think that there's been some sort of evolution or unwinding of it. And, people that have come on towards, like, Ciotos and projects like that, they were seeing that before it actually manifested. So it is a change in music. It's also a change in brand. It's also a change in approach, but mostly it's about freedom. And, like, I wanted the name to be arbitrary. Like, when you talk about Childish Gambino or Post Malone, like, picking their names on some rap name generator, I didn't necessarily do that. I kind of halfway did that, but I love
that story, though. That's
you guys kind of halfway did that.
Yeah, I halfway did that.
Which one was it for? London or Dre?
London.
Oh wow.
And then Dre was like kind of like, well, that's a good way for me to give an ode to Doc Todd, in a sense, because obviously Doc Dre is one of the most iconic producers ever.
And Dre.
Doc and Dre kind of go together. So it was like, it's really arbitrary, because I don't want to be incarcerated by my name. And a brand and a name is so fundamentally important to what you become. Everything about my name kept away the youth. Everything about my name kept away people of color. Everything about my name kept away this inclusive and diverse idea of the amount of people that I want to touch and impact their life.
Wow.
Why would I have a name that pushes so many people away when I'm trying to have a name that welcomes people in? So it was just so much just about the simplicity and the foundation of saying that a name is about what you're attracting. And everything that Doc Todd was attracting was more of the same. And I want to attract different. I want to attract more. I want to be inclusive, not exclusive. I want to welcome people in, not push people away. So it's just like the name is just is an instrument or a vehicle to touch lives. And that's always what I've been about.
Sure.
And I just want to touch more lives in more spaces than just military.
Yep. So you have 2 singles out thus far, right?
Yeah, those, and I'm going to tell you, those are setup singles. And because we knew the transition would be hard, and we knew it was going to be hard to pull over fan base. We knew it was going to be hard to do everything we've done behind the scenes. The 2 big records, these 2 records, I stand by them. They're great. Trap Phone is a record that's out now, and it's about leaving a voicemail on a friend's phone who's passed away, where I've done that many times. I don't know if you've ever called someone's phone that has passed just to hear their voice. I've done that. So that's that one. And, it could be someone who passed from anything, not a military circumstance or normal life circumstance, natural causes, in the streets, whatever. It's just like, look, I love you, and sometimes I call your phone to hear your voicemail because you're not here anymore. The next one is Bail Me Out, which is really more about just being taken out of a negative circumstance, calling on some sort of outside power to deliver you from your own problems and your own issues. And there's a lot of religious undertones to it without it being a religious song. And I like it. We got a great visual out with that with Calvin Tigray. But the 2 London Dre records that matter, that really, and not that those don't matter, but there was some sort of transitionary plan. The ones that matter are coming, and this is a departure from Doc Todd. Memphis is my life is a departure from Doc Todd. Memphis is my life is like a hard hitting fucking smack you in the face. Like I grew up in South Memphis and fought in Afghanistan, bitch. And like I'm fucking coming with the shit, and I'm not constricted by my name shit. Like I'm gonna fuck you up. Like I'm the baddest white boy that ever lived shit. Like there is no, I am the great white hype motherfucker. Like there is no other motherfucker out there that grew up in South Memphis, that fought in Afghanistan, that's spitting bars like this. That is that shit. And yes, that's a departure from Doc Todd. Because it's like, it's on some hard shit. And then all I do is on some hard shit. So the future is coming.
It's probably not going to be coming out by the time this episode airs. I don't believe, right?
But it doesn't matter.
So, but I do want to play a snippet from something that's out. Okay. So would you like to play a snippet from Bail Me Out or Trap Phone?
Bail Me Out.
Bail Me Out?
Yeah.
Play a little snippet from there.
Let's do it.
Right back to the pain from yesterday. I stand in the light of these brighter days. You're a part of me. I take a step back and I breathe. You're a part of me. Tattoo your heart on my sleeve. You're a part of me. Never thinking that you might leave. Inside of me's not free. You're a part of me, believe.
My mind's racing my soul. Life taking a toll on me.
So that was a snippet from Bail Me Out, one of the first two records that are post London Dre transformation.
I called my brother about that song, and we said the same thing. I said it sounds like a deep cut on a great album. Like meaning like it's not a hit. Like it ain't a hit.
So not a true single in the most stereotypical definition of the word.
Definitely not.
Okay.
But like,
you wanted to give it to the people as one of the first
trying to start the
transitions
rebranding
into.
This is like a deep ass cut on like a legendary album. Like this is a great record that's not a single.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're moving in the right direction.
Okay.
And it was special to me because like, yo, this was fucking hard, bro. Something one of my buddies told me that really, really resonates with me to this day, and it might be another gem, is it's either it or it's not it.
One more time.
There's no in between.
One more time.
It is either it or it is not it.
A or B, motherfucker.
There's no in between. If Doc Todd was it, it would have already been it. But it's not it. It was cool. It was awesome. It had its successes. It had its ups. It had its downs. But it wasn't it. If it was it, it would have been it. And there's a difference between giving up and understanding when to retool and to rebrand and to refire. Because so many people get so caught up in like that symbol of like, well, if you would have just dug one more inch, you would have got it. Or if you would have done just one more, like, motherfucker, you was not there in the beginning. It was not it. Like, it just wasn't ever going to be it. Like, you needed to start over. You should have started over. You should have retooled. You should have regrouped. You should have came up with another plan. Because you're digging in the wrong motherfucking hole. And it was a lot of, it's hard to come to grips with the fact that you put your heart, your soul, your money, your time, your effort, your blood, your sweat, your tears into something, saying, you know what, this isn't built to win, so we need to regroup.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
you know, so we did.
Okay. Boom. And just like that, the little camera magic, the magic refilling glass.
Speaking of magical, Henry, we're at a magical part of the One More Time podcast.
Yes, we are.
That we like to call the Rapid Fire Rampage, curated by Henry with a 3.
I'm putting my glasses on. I haven't been able to see this whole interview. Nothing.
There's nothing to see here, man. There's nothing to see here.
All you need to see for the Rapid Fire Rampage is seeing into your soul.
I knew you were going to say that.
So I don't need to see.
Are we at the point where I can where you know we can finish
Each other's
sentences?
sandwiches? Oh, no, okay. I guess not.
Touche. Well played.
London Dre, aka FKA, right? FKA.
Yeah, you can still do the FKA.
Y'all can still call me Doc, bro. London Dre's weird.
Because, you know, Shelly has the FKA dram.
What is that?
Right.
But what does the FKA mean?
Formerly known as.
Formerly known as.
Yeah, so you.
Formerly known as Doc Todd.
Yeah, yeah, if you're cool with the FKA.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I like Doc, it's short.
Yeah, fuck people. It doesn't matter.
This is the Rapid Fire Rampage. It's broken down into 3 parts. First part, I'm going to ask you some short answer questions. Just give me a quick answer.
Okay.
Second part's going to be a this or that. I'm going to give you a couple choices. You're going to pick one off the top of your head, whichever one gravitates to your psyche quicker.
This is a dangerous segment.
It is, because you're not allowed to think that much. Yeah. And then the last part is word association. I'm going to give you one word. You're going to give me one word right back. Okay.
Okay.
And I'll break that down again as we go.
You'll teach me again as we go.
Yep.
Okay,
I want to shout out real quick.
Okay.
This man copped a auto-tune shirt.
Shout out the auto-tune shirts.
Right before the episode, he said, "Hey, do you have my size?"
They had it.
Thankfully, we had it.
So it's a quintuple.
I was like,
it's not.
No, it's a double X, and I stretched it out. It looks beautiful, and I will say, being from Memphis, the fact that it kind of rips the AutoZone logo makes it a lot better for me because AutoZone is a company from the M.
Didn't know that.
Shout out AutoZone.
It makes way more sense now that you were all about it.
Autotuneshirt.com.
Autotuneshirt.com.
Autotuneshirt.com is now live.
You can get yours today.
I got them in black and white.
Autotune. I don't use it, but I support it.
There you go. Rapid fire Rampage.
All right.
London Dre, episode 22.
Okay.
Starting with the short answer. Here we go. Give us 2 of your top 5 artists or bands of all time.
Elton John, Pac.
Give us your favorite project of 2021 so far.
Donda.
How many slices of cheese could fit on a blimp?
6,236. It's way more than that. What the fuck?
You can't go back.
Like
It's too
millions.
late. It's too late.
Yeah.
You've been given a Bengal tiger as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
You can't give it away or sell it. What do you do with it?
Made it.
What are 3 things we would find in your refrigerator right now?
Mayonnaise.
So
eggs,
fast.
cheese.
You are hosting a dinner party, and you can invite any 3 people, dead or alive. Who are they?
God.
May or may not be 3.
Martha Stewart and Kanye.
You've just been put on death row for felony murder charge of over 1,000 beats. What is your last meal?
It's gonna be jerk chicken, but it has to be smoked or grilled. It can't be oven. I want rice, peas, and cabbage, oxtail gravy, and a beef patty, and definitely like at least a 5th of vodka.
If you were one part of this bicycle, which part would you be?
I'm the wheel.
Any particular reason for that answer?
Because I fucking keep going.
He gets
baby.
it going.
I never stop, baby.
Love it.
Nothing's gonna stop me. Just turn it.
Not even a flat.
Not even a flat.
Which it is right now, but we're not don't zoom in on the wheels. On a scale of 1 to 10, how weird do you think you are?
A 6.
Well, respectable weirdness.
Yeah.
What is one question you'd like to ask God?
Why?
Love it.
Just why?
Why? How do you like your eggs?
A scramble with cheese.
First part of the Rampage.
First part.
Breeze through
Not
it.
too bad.
It was okay. Here we go. Part 2 of the rapid fire Rampage. It's a this or that. I'm going to give you 2 choices. You're just going to pick one, whichever one stands out to you the most. Here we go.
All right.
Lyrics or flow?
Flow.
Atlanta or Memphis?
Memphis.
Public speaking or performing?
Performing.
Pineapple pizza or candy corn?
Pineapple pizza.
Invisibility or flying?
Invisibility.
Ribs or brisket?
Ribs.
Let's talk about that for a second. You are notoriously wicked behind the barbecue.
Yes.
Is that true?
That is actually true.
Is that just a Memphis? Everyone who's from Memphis can do that, or is that a
Memphis has good barbecue.
I would like to say that it's that, and that would be like me perpetuating the lie. And that's what I'm supposed to do here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
No, you're not.
But I'm not going to perpetuate the lie. I was taught. I was taught how to appropriately man the smoke pit.
So, what's your favorite thing to cook?
Ribs.
Loin back ribs. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, for sure.
Damn, I'm so hungry right now.
Because they're the best. I mean, like,
We always do these around dinner time, so I'm like so fucking hungry right now. Henry knows I'm like an 80-year-old man. If you don't feed me by like 6, I'd start getting like the shakes or something.
The worst.
it's the highest degree of difficulty on the smoke pit outside. The two things you picked are the 2 hardest things to cook in barbecue, which is brisket.
Because they're the best.
Did you know that when preparing the rapid fire rampage question?
Totally. Of course. I know everything.
I really wanted to give him a difficult one with those.
No, they're the two hardest things to cook.
How do you make them fall off the bone?
You just pull them off at the appropriate time. That's the
Timing.
number one.
Is it a temperature thing or is it a timing? Or a
to me, there's
combination?
3 tests that you do with ribs to make sure they're done. One is the lean test. So you take a pair of tongs, you pick the rack up in the middle, and you pick it up, right in the middle. The 2 sides should lean pretty hard, and they should almost they should break.
Really?
It should be like, if I don't put this down, it's going to break.
Okay.
That's step 1.
Oh, damn.
Step 2 is you put like a toothpick or a skewer in there, and it should feel like it's going into like warm butter, like there's no resistance.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
baby.
the
I'm
third-
salivating right now.
And the third thing you look at is bone recession, which I love to say that, slow bone recession. You know what I'm saying? You look at how much the meat has receded from the tip of the bone. You should have, somewhere around an inch,
10%.
inch and a half, something like that. Bone recession.
Here we go. Moving on with the Rampage. Art museum or history museum?
Neither. Can I say that?
Yes. Bar soap or body wash?
Bar soap.
Good man.
Yeah.
Phone notes, pen and paper, or mental?
Phone notes now, I'm older, used to be mental.
Cash or credit?
Cash.
Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
Part 2 of the Rampage.
Part 2.
Damn, this is fun now.
That went a little smoother, besides the barbecue breakaway, which that was cool too. That's fine. Last part of the Rampage is going to be the word association.
Well, because we got to let people know why the hell did you
Well, I thought you were going to touch on barbecue in the episode, and you didn't.
I didn't find a way to weave it in the conversation, Henry. I don't want to just be like, hey, how about that barbecue after we're talking?
Shout out Ben for like the best pre-production ever on
The Nardwuar of podcasts.
The Nardwuar podcast, up and coming podcast, getting all the info.
Telling
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Last part of the Rampage is the word association.
All right.
I'm going to fire one word at you. You give me one word right back.
Okay.
If it's 2 words, maybe it's
No,
okay.
Henry.
Just keep.
Stop
No.
qualifying.
You're right. All right.
One word.
One word.
Fast.
Yes. Quick. It's a rapid fire.
I try.
Rampage.
I'm sorry, y'all been drinking me the whole time I got here. Since
Drinking you.
Cheers.
Y'all been drinking.
I was like, I have not been drinking
You've
you.
been drinking me ever since
I got a London and Coke.
You've been
Yeah.
undressing me with your eyes ever since I got here.
Last part of the Rampage, word association.
Buckle up.
London Dre, episode 22.
All right.
Pluto.
Space.
Pitbull.
Awesome.
Anxiety.
Got it.
Flower.
My vagina.
Microphone.
Nothing. Nothing came. It should have came, but it didn't come.
Did you order a microphone and it didn't show up?
Yeah.
What happened?
This just total, the abyss of my mind gave me nothing.
That's acceptable.
So nothing is the word.
That's acceptable.
Okay, just FYI, you can take a little longer if you
Yeah.
if you
No,
need.
I mean, it
I'd
was
rather
like-
I'd rather you say nothing.
Yeah,
honestly.
nothing came.
That's it.
Nothing came.
Spider-Man.
Gay. Not in a bad way, but gay. Yeah, definitely.
Those white conservatives would love this one.
I'm in trouble now.
Yeah.
He said Spider-Man's gay.
Or canceling London.
He's canceled.
Water.
Necessary.
Cryptocurrency.
Don't get it.
Disco.
Great.
Children.
Got some.
Fair enough. Clock.
I mean, time, I guess. I mean, damn. One more time.
There you go.
One more time.
We're fine with it.
Party.
Me.
Electric.
Slide.
Lemon.
Haze.
My boy.
Shout out to London Dre for coming on the One More Time
Whoa, I'm not
podcast.
done.
He's not done.
Jesus, man. Can I do my last 3?
Nope.
Yep. I did bad on the last round. I'm so sorry.
No, this is great.
Totally thought that was the last
Electric
one.
slide and lemon haze.
Because you went like ape shit after it.
Because I was excited because we did. Okay, I got 3 more.
All right.
NASA.
Fake.
Politics.
Whack.
Veteran.
Done.
Henry,
There it is.
have you wrapped up?
I'm done.
I didn't want to preemptively finish your rampage.
I said I had 3 more, and I did 3 more.
I can't count. London.
Help me out with the gay Spider-Man thing. All right, y'all can put that part on there, but just in general, pull your millennial shit, and help your boy out,
So no, man, this has been an amazing episode. I think it was important for at this early stage in the London Dre era for you to be able to, sit down and talk through where you came from, because I think it is really important. Like we were talking about earlier, you didn't just come out of the woodworks being London Dre. So you do have this past and, this previous brand that I think is important for people to know that are now trying to, latch onto this new one. So we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, man.
You got an amazing story. You're an amazing guy, captivating, personality. So definitely appreciate you coming on and rocking with the auto-tune shirt.
Shout out.
I don't use it, but I support it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Autotuneshirt.com.
I got to thank y'all, man, for having me out, because it is important, that I get a chance like this. And here's one of the things that I want to say, like, leave you with some last words, is the joy and the pureness of the art is something that I'm so connected with now that I got away from in the midst of the hustle and the grind. And it's like, this is an opportunity to reach one new person.
Yeah.
Or 2 new people. And that's precious.
Yeah, it's the same for us. We really do appreciate all of you guys tuning in every week. Hope you're not sick of us just yet, because we really are just getting started. Every single follower, every single viewer, every single listener really does mean a lot. We'd love to meet you guys at some point. So please hit us up in the DMs. Let us know who you are, where you're from, what you're into, and who we should have on the podcast.
Who should we have?
We love getting recommendations. And then until next week, Henry, what are we doing?
We're getting the fuck out of here.
We fucking out.
Bye-bye.
Bumping Lemon Haze.
We're going to go play Lemon Haze.
Yeah, right now.
We outie.
Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Hop up in that foreign skirt, no. All the homie, this shit tripping, no. Middle finger to the law.